There's been many seasons already, but this season seems to be a lot different than the others. So we're going to go through the cast and kind of give you a little background on them. So our first couple is Lindsay and Mark. So can you give us a little synopsis of who they are and what they look like?
Sure. Mark is, they call him Mark the Shark, and he's a fairly large guy, not fat, but large. And Lindsay is the blonde-haired, kind of loosey-goosey type female that doesn't really know how to shut her mouth, seems like so far. So I think they might make a good couple.
And also Mark, if any of you have seen The Office, he has very strong Steve Carell vibes when it comes to like the awkward smiles that they do. He has that same look. So just think of Steve Carell. The next couple is Noy and Steve. So Noy and Steve.
Noy, they both have an Asian background, I believe. Noy is a short female, long hair, very bubbly. Steve, tall, slim. I think his parents are Asian and white. And just my take on them, I think they're going to make a very good couple.
I agree. I think they'll be a great couple as well. Might be a little boring. Every cast has that one boring couple. So it might be Noy and Steve, which is a good thing. Our next couple that we are going to talk about are Katina and Elijah.
Boy, yeah. So Katina, slim, petite, black woman, long flowy hair. She also seems very bubbly, very kind, just based on what we've seen of her so far. Elijah is a bit of a, how do I put it? He is interesting. He's a lighter skinned. I think he's mixed as well. White or
yes, he has a white mother, black father.
I think his father is Nigerian, he might have mentioned. But he's a party animal. She said she used to be the party girl, so we will see how that works out.
Yes, and they're also both very attractive objectively. So without knowing their background or who they are, how they act, objectively, if you saw these two, you'd be like, wow, that's a really good looking couple. So they're actually very attractive. Objectively. The next couple is Jasmina and Michael.
Jasmina is hands down probably the prettiest girl they've had on this, all of the episodes. She's a very beautiful black woman. Kind of would put you in the mind of maybe a Naomi Campbell, and I think somebody compared her to Naomi Campbell, but very statuesque look, tall, slim, holds herself very well. And Michael, not so tall. They may be about the same height, maybe. He, I think, has a Haitian connection. His parents might have been Haitian. He's kind of, like I said, kind of short. Very nicely built, though. And he seems to be balding a little bit. And he has those veins on the side of his head. But he's not a bad-looking guy. Not as good-looking as Jasmina, but not a bad-looking guy.
It's definitely one of those couples where I would say they're in the top two when it comes to attractiveness when you see them together. So just another couple you'd be like, oh, they look really good together. But she is very model-esque. So very, very pretty woman. Our last couple that we are going to discuss really quickly is Alyssa and Chris.
Oh, boy, Chris. Bless his heart. He plays disc golf. So he talks about that quite a bit. Yeah. And so he is a kind of your average white guy, I guess.
Pretty average, yeah.
Yeah, you're average. And then Alyssa, she is
also average.
Yeah, she's very average. I think she thinks she's not, though. She seems to have a uppity feel about herself that she deserves
quite a lot.
Yes, she deserves more than what she is. So that's my take on her. But yeah, it's just a chick, dark hair, likes cowboy stuff, boots and riding horses and those types of things.
Yeah, they are a very interesting couple to look at. He has a very teddy bear feel. So if you saw a picture of him, he has a little bit of scruff, almost a beard. He is a little bit chubbier, but he has such a kind smile, kind face. So he seems very outgoing. And as far as Alyssa goes, you can tell that she's very harsh. The way she kind of has a judgy look. So we'll dive deeper into that later into the episodes. So when it came to the different episode, to this first episode, we wanted to kind of just give our own guess as to who would be compatible, as well as some of the green flags and red flags that we saw. So we're going to go in the same order that we started with and start with Lindsay and Mark. So what are some of the green flags and red flags that you saw with Lindsay and Mark?
Okay, so for Mark the Shark, I like that he is very caring and a nurturing person. He cares for his mother and his grandmother, so that is a green flag for me. And for Lindsay, I did not really see any green flags. I mean, she's very outgoing. I guess that can be a green flag. She said she never meets a stranger. So that's my green on them. Do you want me to go ahead and talk about the red flags on these
go ahead
two?
with the red.
Okay, so for Mark the Shark, he also said he is, very aggressive when it comes to meeting women in his past, and he wants to move in right away. So I'm thinking he's probably a clingy person. That's just my take on the things he said. And then with Lindsay, the red flags is, man, she's way out there. I believe in this episode, she says something gives her WAP. She seems to be a little messy, the way she was talking about one of the other brides. And the other ladies were really not amused when she said, it's a small world in Boston, so I wonder which one of your husbands I've slept with. So to me, very messy for her to even say something like that. She also, was saying, I told them to give me whatever. So it sounds like she dates all races, which is not a red flag. But it seems like she was kind of really pushing that to let everyone know, that she is equal opportunity out here in the streets.
Yes, and for any of our older viewers, if you do not know what WAP is, Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion came out with a song called WAP, and it stands for Wet Ass Poo-Tang. So if you hear about that in that episode and plan to watch it a little, just to do a little quick rewind, that's what she's talking about. She says she has that wet poo-tang. All right, so the next couple that we're going to talk about is Noi and Steve. So the green flags and red flags. I think everybody knows what the big red flag is for Steve.
Right. So, yeah, for the green flag for Steve, I love his extended family. It's so diverse when they showed the family pictures. He has like someone of every race in his family pictures. I love that. He also has family members. I think he said his grandparents who were in an arranged marriage and maybe an uncle or aunt. Which I think is going to make him more open-minded about this process and, keep him a bit calm. So I think that's a huge green flag for him. And then for Noi, due to her background, she seems that she also will be very open. I think she talks about being born in a camp or something like that.
In Laos, yes.
Right. And she has an alter ego, which I love, Noisy. And, I think it's really cool that she can be both serious and switch and have some fun. She also stated that she travels and really likes to traveled for love. So I think she will be very flexible if, they need to relocate or anything like that. So I like those things about them. Those are green flags. And then the red flags. Well, of course, Steve with that, he has no job.
No job.
What the hell?
Not a single job in sight. And he just came back from like a 4-month vacation. Not a vacation. He went cross-roading or went across the country traveling, whatever. I understand people do that. That's cool, but you ain't got no job, and that's like kind of weird. I mean, he probably saved up a ton of money because he seems very comfortable and not worried at all, but...
Right.
I don't know.
Right. So, yeah, and I didn't see any red flags for Noi. What did you find any green flags on Steve and Noi?
I think you've covered all the green flags.
Okay.
For me. I mean, well, also Steve has 9 nieces and nephews. So he's very family oriented.
Yeah.
In that department too. So he probably has those nice parenting skills. And as far as Noi's red flag, she cries a lot. She cries a lot.
She's an emotional person.
She's very emotional. And I don't know how that's going to pan out. Right. Nothing wrong with being emotional, but sometimes it can backfire. So just throwing that out there. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the next couple, Katina and Elijah.
Oh, okay. The green flags.
Katina's pretty.
She is pretty.
Very pretty. I'm probably going to mention it every single episode. She's just so pretty. Her and Jasmine are so pretty.
They are. They're very pretty. For Jasmina, I'm sorry, not Jasmina. For Katina. Yeah, for her green flags, yeah, it just seems like she's very well-rounded. Seems like, she's gotten her party days out of her system, it appears. So, I think that's a real green flag for her, and she kind of knows both lives now. She said she's grown up and she's already been out there and done that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to help in her case. And green flags for Elijah, I really didn't see any. So yeah,
he takes care of his body.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
He takes care of his body, but
and
his
he does have a job, right?
And he does have a job. He does have a job. I like to call it a job with a Y.
So, and for the red flags, for Katina, didn't see any. I mean, I think she's a good girl from what I've seen so far. She might fool me. Elijah, man, where do I start? He stated that he needed to have someone that can cook. I'm not sure what century he thinks this is, but whatever. And his behavior at the bachelor party, he was way too comfortable with his face on another lady's behind. So I also don't feel like he's an honest person. I mean, he went on about how he used to lie about his name and get with different women and things like that. So I just don't think he's an honest person. I think that's going to be a huge red flag for that relationship because Katina is looking for someone that's more honest. She's already dealt with men that were cheaters, and yeah, I think nothing's going to change here. I think he's going to be the one to bring the drama.
I think they both have really strong personalities. They're going to butt heads. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, but they're going to butt heads in a big way.
Right.
The next couple is Jasmina and Michael.
So for my green flags for Jasmina, she seems really close to her family. I really like the story about her stepmother taking her as her own, and that relationship seems to be really close, which I think is really good. Mm-hmm. And I find that as a green flag because she knows how to move on from things, right? Her mom left and she knows how to move on and not let that hinder her or stop her or use that as an excuse to not be her best, right? It appears she has moved on from that and she knows people love her and she's moving on and getting on with her life. For Michael, I mean, I like that he is close to his sisters. I think that's a good thing. But in that same token, my red flag for him is that I feel like his sisters baby him a bit much. And I don't think he's going to be able to step up to the plate as a husband or a leader because his sisters have babied him. I also don't think he's been well trained. I mean, he asked if he could start eating before one of the sisters sat down at the table. So we'll see how that goes. He also said he's a lone wolf, which, just based on what Jasmina said she wanted, I don't think that can work out for them. She seems very outgoing and things like that. And he's saying he's a lone wolf. I think that could get in their way. Right. And he stated compromise is new for him and this can be an issue. But honestly, I am rooting for them. I think they make a cute couple. I think they're probably both really good people at heart. And I think if they can, learn how to get past those things, they'll be fine.
Absolutely. Last couple, Alyssa and Chris.
Boy. So the green flags for Chris, I like that he said he's a person the person he's dating is his best friend. I think that's really cool to have that type of a friendship with your mate. I think that's a really good way of looking at relationships. For Alyssa, I really didn't see any green flags for her. My red flag on her is she seems like she wants perfection from her mate. And that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
She talked about her last boyfriend breaking up with her over the phone or something, told her don't cook dinner, and that not one person she's dated since then is what she's looking for. That has anything she's looking for. She's in anything. Yeah. So that makes me think she is super picky and particular, and I don't even know why they chose her for this show if that's how she's going to be.
Okay. Well, now we can go ahead and just take a wild guess. These were just based off of first impressions of what we saw in the first episode. So we can just take a wild guess and say, who do we think will stay together and who do we think will get a divorce? So Lindsay and Mark, yay or nay?
I say nay on that one. I think she's going to be too much for him. I think, he's looking for somebody a little bit more settled down. Even though he calls himself Mark the Shark and he's aggressive, I don't think he's out there like her. Like, she's just loud and out there.
Yeah.
So, I don't think they're going to work out.
Yeah. She gives me very immature vibes, so I also agree. I don't think they're going to work out. Definitely a big-time divorce. She might say yes, and he will probably say no.
Right.
Noy and Steve.
I think these two are going to work out.
Same.
Just first guess, they both seem to have a very good background. Close families. Both of them have big families. I think they're going to mesh well if they are attracted to each other. You know, that physical attraction is going to be something I'm not sure if they are going to be or not. But if they are, I think they will definitely make it.
I agree. Katina and Elijah Wan.
That's going to be a hard no for me. I don't see them making it. I think he's immature, and I don't think she's going to be looking for somebody that's that immature. I just think she wants a grown ass man. I don't, and I don't think he's going to be able to be that. I think he's still going to want to party and do things. I mean, at the bachelor party, he's like, he wants to be able to take his wife to the strip club and things like that. And I think, had he met her 5 years ago, that would have been fine. But I don't think she's in that space anymore. We all grow up. We've been there. We all grow up. So I just don't think they're going to make it.
I'm going to give them a yes. Just to go against the grain. Even though I don't want them together based off of first impressions. But there is a chance they could be together. Jasmina and Michael.
I don't think they're going to stay together. I mean, well, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they stay together because I like them as a couple. The reason I don't think they're going to stay together is he talked about his insecurity with his height and things like that. And she's a very tall woman. And if she puts on some heels, she's going to be taller than him. And again, she's very pretty. And I'm not sure what type of men she's dated in her past. But I would assume that she's probably had her pick of the litter, as far as looks go anyways. It sounds like she's met some pretty crappy men, but maybe she'll see past that. Not that he's an unattractive guy, because he's attractive. I just don't know that he's her level of attractive. So maybe if they can get past that, they'll be fine. Also, the thing that she said on the after party, the first after party, was that the producers approached her to be on the show. So that makes me think, how invested in this is she really? That she didn't seek it out herself. So she might just kind of be going through the motions. I'm not really sure. But I am rooting for them. I like them both, so I'm rooting for them.
Okay, I'm going to give them a yes as well. And the last one, Alyssa and Chris.
Yeah, no.
No.
So many reasons that's a no.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we need to go into it, but basically Alyssa, that's it, just Alyssa.
Everybody's getting that vibe from Alyssa. I'm sure all of you have gotten them vibes from her friends as well.
Oh yeah,
it's just the vibes are off. They are so off.
Right.
So that was basically our guesses for who do we think would stay together. So now we're going to move on to family and friends' reactions to when everyone said that they were going to be walking down the aisle in 2 weeks.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Mark and Lindsay. His friends were kind of a buzzkill. They were kind of talking about what if she doesn't like that you take care of your mom and things like that. I wanted them to be more excited for him. And they weren't. For Lindsay, her dad and brother, I think they clearly feel sorry for the guy that's going to get Lindsay. I mean, so those were the only people that they really talked to about it. So that was my take on the two of them.
Yes. And wasn't it Mark's mom that said she wanted him to do it the old-fashioned way?
It was.
Yeah, Mark's mom wanted him to do it the old-fashioned way. And I can already... I got a weird feeling that he's going to get a lot of I told you so's down the road. So hopefully Mark is prepared for that if they don't stay together.
And who's the next couple?
Noy and Steve.
Noy's friends. Ooh, oh boy. they seemed excited about her winning. Like, it was like, oh, yeah, you won the contest. But they weren't very emotionally supportive when she started crying and getting emotional about her family and her upbringing and things like that. They just kind of looked at her a little weird. But
yeah, their consoling skills suck.
Yeah, right. And then for Steve, they seemed very happy for him. And I'm happy that they pointed out that he doesn't have a job, but so that is something he needs to be thinking about. But I really like both of their families. I like Steve's family. It seems like they really rally around him and each other. And him being the youngest, I believe he said he was the youngest boy or the only one that wasn't married. So they seem to really be rallying around him. I like their reaction.
Yeah, the reaction wasn't too bad for the family.
Right.
So the next couple is Katina and Elijah.
Okay, so for Katina, her friends seemed sincerely happy for her, even though they had some questions, and they really felt really staged, the questions. Like,
that's reality shows, though.
Yeah.
They're always going to stage a little bit. Something.
Asking her, like, if she falls in love fast. And I'm thinking, okay, how long have y'all been friends? Because if you kind of know those things about your friends, right? But they did seem excited for her. And then for Olajuwon, his family pretty much knows that he's not ready. They were talking about his past and him when he said he wanted somebody that can cook, and they were just like, oh boy, they kind of had that look on their face, like, yeah. So that was just my take on them.
Okay. I have the same take pretty much, so I'm not going to add too much to it. So Jasmina and Michael's family, his sisters were super happy. Very happy. Very happy. I like to see that. But them sisters are going to need to take their hands off and let this boy grow up. And then for Jasmina, her mom is clearly very protective of her. She seems very concerned. And I just really love that relationship that she has with her mom. Right. Yeah. Right. Same. I think all the families for both parties, they seem very happy that they found someone, or I guess set up with someone in this case. Last one, Alyssa and Chris.
I think Chris's mom was very realistic about the whole situation. I mean, not a whole lot more I could say about that one. She was just like, what if this doesn't work out? Okay, so Chris's mom was very realistic about the situation. I really like, that she just kind of was stone-faced and asked him, what if this doesn't work? What are you thinking? Kind of stuff. So I like that about his mom. And then for Alyssa, when she went to meet her friends and her mom, they just seem really fake to me. Right? That's my take on her and her friends. They just seem like a fake crew type.
It's clique. Very off, very materialistic.
Very, very. So, I mean, they were, happy, but at the same time, it seemed like they knew they were on camera, and so they were playing into the camera. That was my thing with them.
Same. So we're going to go ahead into the first wedding, the only wedding that was in episode 1. The first couple that got married was Lindsay and Mark. And it was definitely a very interesting start. So how are we going to even... let's start with Lindsay and her foolishness before she even got in the limousine. Right? She was drinking before she got in the limousine. She was drinking in the limousine. And when we say she was drinking like a fish.
Yes, dropping liquor down her dress. She was drinking so much, burping. And again, with cameras, I'm like wondering if she knows the camera, like feels that, the camera's on me, so let me play this up. I hope so. I hope that's not her natural state. I don't know. But yeah, she was doing that. She was pulling her dress down when she got there, saying, let me be a lady. And then, it was just a lot. And talking about, wanting to have a man with a large peen. She's a lot. She's a lot.
She has very strong pick-me vibes. And once again, for the older viewers who may not know what that means, a pick-me is a woman that pretty much does what she can for male validation and male attention. Even if it means putting down other women or making an ass of yourself or agreeing with a very stupid... let's say a man says a woman should always cook for them, and she sit there and agree and nods her head. That's a pick me. because she wants that man to pick her. So she gives me the pick me vibes because she wants to be. I'm one of the dudes. Like I'm just like this. I'm not like other girls. You know, I'm just fun and I'm wild and I'm free. Like I don't know. It just gives off the pick me. Pick me, choose me. Well, you've already got your man. There's no need to pick.
Right. And yeah, Mark, he seemed a little shocked by her openness and bluntness and her laying down on the park bench. And, you know, I think he's trying to be open-minded about the situation. He knows that that's not the type of woman he would normally date. He would probably be whispering about her to other people. But that's who he got stuck with. So, yeah. So that's really how that wedding went to me.
Yeah, the wedding was overall, it just seemed messy. And it could be editing, but some of that stuff you just can't edit. You could edit it out, but over the course of time, it just wasn't a good look for Lindsay.
At all. Not very ladylike, very sloppy drunk. Feel. She's a little too old for that. I've gotten drunk before, but I don't think I get sloppy. Yeah, so not on your wedding day. Don't do it on your wedding day. Yeah, leave that for other days.
Yes, but once again, these are just like opinions on first impressions and what we're seeing. We could totally be wrong about someone's character later on in these episodes in the season. But as for right now, these are our thoughts on what we see and what we are learning.
We'll see how this plays out.
Exactly. So join us for episode 2 later on. Signing off, I'm Elle.
And I'm Mo.
See you next time.
Bye.